Hello everyone and welcome back, and in this Microsoft Excel tutorial we will learn about how to calculate subtotals. You can automatically calculate subtotals and grand totals in a list for a column by using the subtotal command. But before we begin, let me tell you one thing, that here we have another duplicate of this worksheet, and that was the original template that I have downloaded, and that is only the part of that list. So here in this list, if you see here, we have applied the filter command here. Basically this is a table inside an Excel worksheet, and inside a table you cannot use the subtotal command. As you can see that has already been disabled. So do remember that you cannot use the subtotal command if your worksheet contains a subtotal. So I have copied and pasted that list separately on another worksheet without the tables and the filters. The another important thing before you start using the subtotal command is that your columns must have a heading before you start using the subtotal command. So if I select this list here including the headings and click on the subtotal command under the outline section of data tab, then here you can find those headings under at each change in, and then you can also find the same headings and add subtotal to. So I will explain you all these things right here in the subtotal command. So let's get started, and before we use the subtotal command, make sure that your list is sorted according to the column for which you want to have the subtotals. Like let's say I want to have the subtotals according to the category. I want to see the subtotals like the seafood subtotal, and then the produce, then the dairy subtotals. So before you start using the subtotal command, make sure to sort your list according to the column for which you want subtotals. And now for that, what I will do, I will select the entire list including the headings, and from the data tab I can click this sort button here, or you can directly click on this A to Z or Z to A button also for ascending and descending orders. You can also find the sort command in the home tab here, right under sort and filter, and here you have those three commands that you just saw under the data tab. So there is no difference between those commands. And if I click this A to Z for sorting the list in ascending or lowest to highest order, then after clicking this button, what will happen? It will always sort the list according to the first column. As you can see that our list is now sorted according to the item names. So if you say you want to sort according to category, then you cannot select like this or like this or like this. You have to select all the headings and the data below it. And now if you will click this A to Z, then it will always sort according to the first column, and Z to A in descending order or highest to lowest order, as you can see here in the tooltip. So what is this sort? So that is the custom sort command. You can also open it from the home tab, the custom sort command, or you can also open it from the data tab, because we now want to use both the commands subtotal and sort, so that is why both the commands are available under the data tab. Now if I click on this sort command, then here you have a lot of options to sort your data as you want. So what I want to have subtotals according to category, so I will sort my list according to category, sort according to cell values, and sort in A to Z order. My data has header means these headings: item, store, category, quantity, unit. If I uncheck this option here, then you will start seeing column A, B, C instead of column headings. So that is why this my data has headers option is important. You must check it. And I am now sorting the list according to the category and hit the OK key. Now you can see that we first have all the dairy products, then meat products, then produce, and then seafood. But I want to have subtotals according to the category, like the dairy has some quantity and units and their prices, and then you can see the totals of the each item. Now I want to have subtotals of all these total under the diary. And same way I want the subtotal for meat and all the items produce seafood. So what I will do, I will select this list and now I will click on subtotal, and here you need to understand a few things before you start using this command. The first important thing was to sort the list according to the subtotals you want, and now what I will do, at how do you want to, it is asking you that how do you want to calculate the subtotals. So here we have at each change in. So what I will choose here, I will choose category. So as soon as the category will change, it will sum the total column. So you can also use a different function like we have count, average, maximum and minimum. So first we will go with the sum function, and we want to make subtotal for the total column. And here we have further options here that we will talk about later. Let's first see what it do now. At each change in category, sum the total column. As soon as I hit the OK key, you can see many different things here, like we have three sections here, 1, 2 and 3, and we also have these expandable and collapse buttons here. So now we have subtotals according to the category. So here we have the diary category as our first category, and there are total 6 items under the diary category, and there we have the subtotal for the diary category, that is 36.84 cents. So then the next item was meat, and there was only one item under the meat, so it calculated the subtotal for the meat 79.90. Then we have the produce category, and here we have the produce subtotal, and lastly we have seafood total 108.89. And then we have the grand total for these 4 different categories, and that grand total counts to 270.51. So why it is important to sort the list before you go for the subtotals? So first I will remove the subtotals here, and for that I will select the entire list again. We'll go to the subtotals and we'll click here remove all, and that way I can easily remove all the subtotals and the grand totals. So why it is important to sort the list according to the column for which you want to calculate subtotals. Now let's say I want to calculate the subtotal according to the store. Like I want to have a subtotal for the store, like home delivery, how much total amount for home delivery is. So if I select the list and directly go to the subtotal without sorting the list according to the store column, and here I say at each change in store column, sum up the total column. Let's say for an example, you can also sum up more than one column. Like if you also want to sum up the quantity column, then you can make a check mark here. Now if I hit the OK key, then now you can see that we have the subtotals, but they are not fine, because as you can see, first we have the grocery store here, and then we have the grocery subtotal, then we have home delivery, and then we have the home delivery total. But now if you see after the market total, we again have the grocery store. That way again market comes up, and then again the grocery. So that way it is not making a sense, because we have different subtotals for the same item. Like we have subtotal for market here $96, then again we have another subtotal $6.87. So that is why it is important for you to sort the list according to the column for which you want to calculate the subtotals. Now I will go to the subtotals, will remove all, and then select the list again. First I will sort that list according to the store, cell values A to Z. Now we have all the store in a line. Now I can go to the data, subtotals. At each change in store, I want to sum up the quantity and total columns. And as soon as I hit the OK key, you can see fish market total 11 items, $108.89. So same way we have grocery 6.5 items, $20. So now what these means, 1, 2 and 3, you will start seeing these sections here after you use the subtotal commands. So here we have the outline section where we have total 5 commands. group ungroup subtotals, and then expand detail, show detail, or collapse detail, or hide detail, you can say. So after using the subtotal command, these three sections are dividing your list into three different views. Like if I click on the first one, then you only have the grand total. And if I click on the second one, then you have the subgroups and then the main group. Or you can say you have the subtotals and the grand total. Like we have all these 5 subgroups here. You can see here, count 5. And they sum up to 270.51, and that is exactly we have here. And if we click on number 3, then we have the full detail of stores, and we have the subtotals and the grand totals. So it is up to you that which view you want to use. So you can also use these buttons here, minus and plus buttons here, to show or hide the details. Or you can also show or hide details from these two buttons under the outline section. Or you can directly expand all by clicking on number 3, or can collapse all by clicking on number 1. So let's see what we have more under the subtotal section. So then we have replace current subtotals. So let's say if I uncheck this, and now I want to have an average for the unit price and nothing else, and hit the OK key. So now you can see that we have subtotals for the unit price as well, average value of the unit price for each store. But you can also notice that it didn't remove the previous subtotals for the total column. We still have those. So that is what that option means. I select the entire list again, go to the subtotals, and that is what this option means. If I check this option, and now again I say at each change in store, sum up the value of the total column. So now it will replace all the previous subtotals. So you will not have the average subtotal now for the fish market or any of the store, because it replaced all the previous subtotals, and that is what this option was for. Now if you say add page break between the group and hit the OK key, so now you can start seeing these a little dark gray lines here after each of the store. So if you now go to file and click the print button and see the print preview here, so now we have different page for each of the store. Like we have this grocery on the second page, and there's home delivery on the third page, then we have the market on the fourth page, and then we have this, and then we have orchard and the subtotal and the grand total. So that is what that option was, the page break. So if you want each of the store list on a different page, then you can easily separate them by clicking on this page break between the groups. So when you use the subtotals on a particular column, then it converts that column into groups, and then later you can use the group and ungroup commands further. Like I select this one and use the ungroup command, and I want to ungroup row wise, and you can see that it has removed that particular group here. And you can later also make the group again. Now you can expand, you can collapse and expand, or show or hide the details. I am right here at the A1 column, and I have not selected the list. And now if I click on the subtotal command, then it will automatically identify the entire list and will select it, as you can see in the background. So lastly, if you uncheck this option, summary below data, then you will have the grand total on top of the details. And if you make a check mark on this option, then you will have the grand total at the bottom. So that way the subtotal command make it easy for you to have the subtotals and the grand totals according to a particular column. Otherwise you have to insert the rows in between and then use the sum formula or average formula to calculate the desired results. So I hope you will like this tutorial. Let me know by liking, sharing and commenting on this video. And you can also subscribe to our channel for more upcoming tutorial videos. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Bye and take care.